Yeah, we did overtime on that topic yesterday.
Yeah.
We started today's show. First time in the history of UCSS.
Crazy.
We've done back-to-back WNBA topics. But let's dive into our first real topic of today's show after a quick word from FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, the Browns officially kick off the start of their 2025 season a week from today with OTAs. It's the first time we'll see the veterans and the rookies together on the field, and all eyes will be on the quarterback battle. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com wrote a column yesterday, more of a column than an official report, projecting how she believes the Browns will handle the snaps and the quarterback competition early on in camp. This is from Mary Kay Cabot's column last night, and I quote, "In terms of their batting order in team drills, it will likely be Pickett and Gabriel, number 1 and number 2, and then Flacco and Sanders splitting the number 3 and number 4 reps at the outset, largely based on how and when they were acquired, i.e. the Browns set out to draft Gabriel in the 3rd round and passed on Sanders 6 times before trading up to get him in the 5th round. G, what do you make of Mary Kay's initial observation and best guess on how the Browns will split up camp, practices, and snaps?"
Well, listen, this is I'm so glad you tossed this my way.
I got you, G. You know I got you, bro. You know I got you.
I'm so glad you tossed that to me. And now listen, let me ask y'all a question. We're gonna do this exercise together. We're gonna do this. I like team group. What I like to do is break it down very slowly, line by line. Now, she says, accurately so, that they passed on Shedeur Sanders 5 times. She mentions that a lot. Do we all believe that they passed on Shedeur Sanders for personality things or physical ability?
I don't know if I think he went in the 5th round. He dropped from the 1st round because of talent. He dropped to the 5th round because of off the field.
There you go. I like that. I would say it's off the field. So we established that thing. I don't think he doesn't have a 5th round skill set.
No,
okay.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay, so then we've established that.
Yeah.
So when they acquired Kenny Pickett, what did they trade for Kenny Pickett?
A 5th round pick, I believe.
Okay, 5th round pick?
That is correct.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Everybody's sitting around telling me Shedeur Sanders, why you all excited about Shedeur Sanders? He's a 5th round pick. 5th round pick, G. Bush, 5th round pick. The value is 5th round. Gabriel went higher than him. Let me ask you a question. If they only traded a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett, doesn't that mean his value is
a 5th round pick?
Thank you very much. Let's continue on through this process.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about money. Oh, the guaranteed money. They offered Flacco all this bread. They gave him money. They obviously, Kenny Pickett is getting money. McNuggets, I don't know. Can you look up how much Kenny Pickett is actually making?
Kenny Pickett this year, I will confirm in a second, but I believe it's $2 million.
Okay, I believe that. Now I know this is over a longer period of time, but I just think Shedeur just signed for $4.6 million, which is more money.
It's a 4-year deal.
It's a 4-year deal. Yeah. Spread it out.
Kenny Pickett this year will make $2.623 million.
Okay, let me ask you this question as we continue on the money line. Kenny Pickett, he had a 5th-year option, right?
Declined it.
Who declined that?
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I thought if they thought so much of him, they would have just gave him that bag of money, right?
Well, he got to show it.
Again, 5th round value, declined your 20-something million because they didn't think you were worth that, and gave you a prove-it deal so that you could get your career back on track. My question is...
that was money he was already owed.
He was already owed.
Yeah.
He was already owed.
Yes.
So for people that's saying that, oh, listen, his value is so much higher than the rest of them, he should be how is he a shoe-in when I could squint my eyes and say, why him? Put Dillon Gabriel in the first reps when you're talking about value. If you want to talk about what you've done and what you're worth, my thing is, and I just say it like this, I don't know why all of a sudden people act like Kenny Pickett doesn't have to earn his spot just as much as the rest of them. Like this thing, I'm going to push him to the top. And listen, when you talk about it, I heard Bull one time say with Jason, because he's a veteran, Tyvis, the veteran talking point is takes care of the football, knows the game plan, doesn't put the ball in harm's way. Bull's like, whoa, hold on. I think his record is what? 10 and something? Like,
he's 15 and 14.
And how many picks to interceptions he didn't throw?
No, that's his interception touchdown. 15 touchdowns, 14 picks.
Yeah.
So is he really? Is he different than Flacco? Is he different than Jameis Winston?
To be fair,
okay.
Pittsburgh offense is atrocious.
To be fair, would you say Pittsburgh's offense is better than Cleveland's?
No, because the play caller in Cleveland is better than the play caller that's ever been in Pittsburgh for the past.
But Pittsburgh has had better talent.
He's better talent.
I give you that. But the play call is also something.
Yeah, that's a fact, for sure.
So I'm just giving you guys, I'm going to just put it out there so we can all be even and honest about the situation. Because, they did pass on Shedeur a few times, but they've also put some feelers in the air and said, Kenny Pickett, we're going to bring you in. But you ain't that guy. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Davis?
So eloquently put.
I mean,
we was ready today, McNuggets.
The way I look.
I got you, G. Stand up, bro.
We was ready today. I said, hold on. I was in the lab with a pen and a pad.
The way I look at it is this. When they break for OTAs, Kenny Pickett should be quarterback 1. Why do I say that? Because Kenny Pickett has been here the longest, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. He was the only quarterback that was on the roster. They recently went and got Joe Flacco right before the draft, and then they drafted the other 2 rookies. So from the time of him being here, he's been around the staff the longest. I know Joe Flacco played a year ago. I get all that, but you know what I'm saying. So Kenny Pickett should probably get the first reps just to start it off because that's just what it is. This pecking order will get changed after week 1 of OTAs. If he's not doing his thing and he's not looking good, the people will move up and down. To me, if I'm doing OTAs this year, I'm working each quarterback in with the ones so I can get a good look at what they will look like with the ones. Which quarterback has got other guys playing above and beyond themselves? What guy commands the huddle? What guy can get the plays in and out and not have delay of games? What guy can see the defense better and read it and get the adjustments and things like that? You need to work there with all the quarterbacks. Maybe not Joe, because Joe to me is in case of emergency. I know he knows all those things. But the other 3 have never worked with Kevin Stefanski before. So you need to rotate all 3 of them because it's a long season. You never know what's going to happen. It's the Cleveland Browns. It's for the past 4 years, every quarterback on the roster has played. So you need to make sure all of them is ready anyways and have reps with the ones. So if it was me, I'd start it off with Kenny Pickett. After week 1, we doing some rotating.
I'm with you, Tyvis, in general. I don't necessarily care if Kenny Pickett's number 1 or whatever, but your point about within a week it's going to all change, or it might change.
Everybody,
there's
unless your name is Myles Garrett, everybody, and Denzel Ward, everybody else is
exactly. I feel like we've never seen this before. I don't think we've ever seen a situation that I can recall where you go into an offseason where you have 4 quarterbacks that you can argue will have a chance to win a start if it's truly a fair competition, and we'll take them at their word that it is. I don't know that it is, but we'll take them at their word.
They might as well make it.
They might as well, right?
I don't see why you wouldn't.
There's a case to be made for all 4. None of them should be handed anything.
I agree.
This is, and here's the thing. If I'm Kevin Stefanski, okay, I get, we get it. The reality is the Browns will probably not win a lot of games. That's the most likely scenario.
8-9.
Most likely scenario. That's probably the best case scenario. Most likely the Browns are going to lose a lot of games this year. But if you're Kevin Stefanski and you're coaching Myles Garrett and you're coaching Joel Bitonio and you're coaching Denzel Ward and the other veterans on this team, you can't go into meetings and say, guys, we're going to suck this year. And our goal is to see if these rookie quarterbacks are good enough that we don't have to draft a quarterback in the first round. Joe Bitonio didn't come back for that crap. And I get it. I get what some fans are going to say and some media members are going to say, well, that doesn't matter. It's all about being able to win a Super Bowl. This team can't win a Super Bowl as is. I think everybody would agree on that. Fine. But if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I want to win. Mm-hmm. I want to win. So ultimately, when the season begins, I owe it to the rest of the players to start the quarterback that gives me the best chance to win. Now, in my opinion, right now, without seeing anything, I would say that's probably Joe Flacco is most likely to be the guy that gives me the best chance to win. But I don't know. He's 41 years old. Outside of Tom Brady, pretty much every quarterback goes over the cliff at that point. Maybe that happens to him. I don't know. If Kenny Pickett gives the best chance to win, start Kenny Pickett. Shedeur Sanders, start him. Dillon Gabriel, start him. Everybody's got to be given an equal opportunity. That's what makes sense. Now, if the Browns start Kenny Pickett or start Joe Flacco, and they're 1-5, they're 2-6, okay, now the priority becomes we got to play these young guys. Okay, which of the two young guys is more prepared to start a game? And that's how we go from there. But in the beginning of the season, I got to go with the guy that gives me the best chance to win. And if you want to do what's best for the whole team, there has to be an equal opportunity for all four guys. I hope there will be. I think there should be. We'll see if there is.
Yeah, I'm rotating every day.
Yeah.
One day, one guy you're gonna get the reps bell to bell. Hey, right. Dillon Gabriel, you got all the first team reps. Let's see, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what when you have if you're literally having an open competition and it's true that we don't have a favorite, that's what you have to do.
Yes.
Because it's not, how am I going to say, if Shedeur Sanders is killing it with the threes, how am I going to go in the season and say, oh, yeah, he's going to be good with the ones? That's not the case.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose situation.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to rotate them all to see what they are. Maybe he works better with the ones.
Now, and I want to see Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel in particular play with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. Like, how are they with the starters? Okay, they're good. But if a guy gets hurt, is he going to still be able to play well with the backup guys, with the third-string guys? Because just like a quarterback, guys get hurt too at wide receiver. I mean, you might have to, can you elevate the guys around you? That's part of being a quarterback.
So let me give you this. Yeah. So and we'll say this. I think McNuggets got some more clips. Yeah. What did Sam Darnold get this year? How much was it?
I don't remember.
30 or 40 million. I'll tell you one.
I don't think it was 40.
Was it like 120? Wasn't it 4?
Was it that much?
Was it?
Sam Darnold signed a 3-year.
He got whatever Geno was supposed to give.
3 year.
Yeah, 3-year, $110 million.
That's crazy.
So 33.5.
All right.
So let me tell you this.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is Kenny Pickett starting all the games and being good. Worst case scenario.
Why?
You can't sign him, and you can't. Deshaun Watson is on the roster, and you got Kenny Pickett. And if his value for a quarterback that's trying to resurrect his career under the age of 30 is a Geno Smith or a Sam Darnold, you're looking at, even if it's $80 million over a little small period of time, you do not have the flexibility to sign two of those guys on the roster.
I think next year maybe they could, in theory. I mean,
aren't they getting cap relief?
What do we think the odds are of Kenny Pickett playing as well as Sam Darnold did last year?
Slim to none.
Yeah.
Like, to me, out of all of the people, and I'm not just saying this. Now, granted, I'm going to preface this by saying if he comes out and kills it, obviously he's going to play.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate trump card. But if I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the future, the present, or trying to even make evaluations, the person who makes the least sense to be getting all the reps and starting all these games is Kenny Pickett. If you thought he was going to be that good, wouldn't you have said, you know what? We're going to keep that fifth-year option, and we're going to keep you on the roster and develop you for 2 years.
If you were that confident, you could argue that because it was, what, $20 million?
Yep.
$20 million.
Which is a lot, but if somehow he has a Sam Darnold season, that wouldn't have been a lot.
It's a brilliant
big
move.
If, but yeah.
I got another question for you guys real quick. This is a little later in Mary Kay's column. She wrote this in terms of how Kevin Stefanski, in her mind, will split up the quarterback situation. Mary Kay said, quote, "It remains to be seen how they'll split the concurrent passing drills, but placing a rookie with a vet seems to make the most sense. As far as Flacco and Sanders sharing the third and fourth team reps, Sanders might go first at times, in part because Flacco has 17 years experience under his belt, while Sanders needs as much time on task as possible to get up to speed with the scheme and get his chemistry and timing down with receivers." Tyvis, Bull, I'm curious if maybe I'm looking way too deep into this, looking too far, making something out of nothing. But I do think it's interesting, the pairing, if you assume it's Flacco, Sanders, Gabriel, Pickett, to give Sanders more of a chance, as Mary Kay alluded to show what he can do, considering the fact that Flacco's been around for 17 years and probably needs the least amount of OTA reps.
But now we're speculating on her speculation.
Once again, I totally understand. I just wanted to ask about it.
My thing about it is this. Maybe look at it like this. Because this was a thing that we talked about in the pre-draft process. Maybe putting him and Flacco 3rd and 4 because didn't Pat Shurmur run what Kevin runs, but like a college version of it? So technically, he knows, Shedeur should know all of Kevin's stuff, technically. But the only two that don't, that's fresh, is Pickett and Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah.
So maybe
good point.
That's why they doing it that way, because it's like.
But again, we don't know that they're doing it that way. It's
true.
speculating.
We're speculating to the speculation.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. Like maybe they looking at it like, you know what, these two know the offense more than these two do, so we need to get them more reps to see what it is. But at the end of the day, you still got to see all of them. Well, maybe not Joe, because Joe's already done it, but the other three, you have to see them with the ones at some point.
Right.
Look, I think the Browns, they're running that good old smoke screen right now. Remember they was doing this a couple of years ago with Dobbs and DTR and a lot of them.
Kellen
Mond. They was spot shadowing people, making you think, oh, this the dude right here. And they're like, sorry, we're trading you to so and so.
They just did that last year.
Yeah, just did that.
2 years in a row.
Jameis, DTR.
I believe
and Snoop.
Yep. I believe Kenny Pickett is in that situation. I believe you got a 5th, you might get a 4th if you look pretty good, right? If you look at Joe Flacco to me is, all right, if these dudes are horrible, like say Dillon Gabriel goes and he's not very good, then you get Shedeur Sanders in there, he goes, he looks decent, but he gets hurt. Now you already got Flacco. You already ready to go, and you cool. You ain't got no problem. But for me, I think that they're trying to recoup some of that. And I would look at it like this. If I was Pickett, I would say I want to I would make Pickett and Flacco compete. Like, I want to see which one is the best veteran, the best guy. Like, I don't want him competing with no rookie. Nah. We're going, because like you said, chances are they're going to start with a veteran anyway.
Yeah, most likely.
So let me get the veteran that give me the best chance, and then I'm going to have these rookies battle it out for the backup quarterback position to see who was the first bite at the apple. I don't know. This staggered with I want professional pressure. You know how it is, Tyvus. When you got two veterans going at it, both of them be locked in. Y'all be talking about your family walking in. As soon as y'all get to that facility, y'all say nothing to each other. That pressure be deep. Yeah. You be like, dang, he got 4 more reps than me today.
I'll tell you guys,
that's a fact.
There's an angle of this we haven't talked about, and I don't know how big this is on the team. Maybe you have a feel for it, Tyvus. But I think from an outsider's perspective, and I think with the players, and definitely with the fans, this is a big deal. Now, ultimately, if there is a veteran competition and then a rookie competition, let the best man win. And if Kenny Pickett beats out Joe Flacco, so be it. However, think about it from this angle. If the Browns start the season with Kenny Pickett as the starting quarterback,
he throw a pick.
First interception he throws, fans want Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel in. There is going to be way more.
The first interception.
Okay.
If he come out if that game is like
first game,
if that game is
they
like
want him out.
Against Dallas last year,
I like that
he's
bull.
out.
Can I amend that, Bull?
I like that.
Before Kenny Pickett throws an interception.
Yeah.
Before Kenny Pickett arrives at Huntington Bank Field for game 1. Before the week before week 1, fans will be calling for Shedeur.
That is fine, but they'll be, if they look like crap and he plays like crap after one game, fans are going to 100% want him out.
Yes,
that will not be the case with Flacco. Yes, if Flacco's terrible the first game, there'll be a segment of the fan base is like, maybe we should turn the page, but it won't be the same vitriol. And number 2, more importantly, think about the players.
That's what
any player that was here with Joe Flacco in 23. Believes in him.
Yep.
100%. And if he has a bad game week 1,
who cares?
They're going to be like, it's all right. We'll be fine. None of those guys believe it. And maybe some of them believe in Kenny Pickett. I don't know. And maybe he'll make them a believer. Anything's possible. But right now, You got a lot of Joe Flacco believers in that locker room, or at least a decent amount. I don't know how many. I can't imagine there's any Kenny Pickett believers in that locker room, and I think that matters. The fans is one thing. The team really shouldn't care about what the fans think, but they do, and we know the Browns do. But the players matter.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's a factor in this?
1,000%. That goes back to what I was saying. This is the thing. I done did many camps before, and I'm telling you right now, you can look at a quarterback, whether you put him with the 1s, 2s, or 3s.
Yeah.
If they got that glow to them and it's just something about them, you could tell because they just got that offense clicking. Whether they going to 3s on 3s, they just rolling down the field. You put them with the 2s, they just rolling down. If one of these quarterbacks is doing that, like you can't deny it because every player sees it.
Do you remember when Flacco took over in 23 and we heard he was killing it in practice? And we're like, it's practice, who cares? And then he came in and went on that run.
Yeah.
That is why they fought so much for Deshaun. Because in practice, Deshaun was like that. I told you, I watched the practice. I seen it. Deshaun was like good in practice. So that's why the players was like, nah, he good. Y'all got to wait. He'll be good. But I'm telling you, it's something about that. If you go to practice and you balling and it's just like not a one and done thing, you doing it consistently, like players like, man, why? Come on, man. Put him in the game. Put him in the game.
I'm going to tell you about these fans, man. There's one thing I know is these fans. Listen, he already has money in the bank.
Yeah, right.
He already has goodwill. That he has currency. Like, they've seen him in prime time and in a playoff game, even though he threw like 10 picks and they got boat raced.
Who?
Flacco. They saw it. They saw the way the offense looked. They saw Flacco throw all them 300-yard games in a row.
It was nothing.
It was nothing. So the fans is already, like, to me, when people kept saying just Pickett is bad, I said Pickett has the toughest job. Dillon Gabriel got drafted higher, and there's a certain segment of the population that actually just feels bad for him because they put him in a bad situation. Like, dang, can you think? Like, Mom, I got drafted in the 3rd round higher than I even thought, and then 2 rounds later, you get Shedeur looking at you like this, dog. Bro, that's tough. Now you got Shedeur. Shedeur, like, look, man, listen, come on, man. The fans love me, bro. I got an underdog story ready to go now. Flacco, like, this been there, done that. I know Joe Batonio. Matter of fact, my wife and his wife had some dinner 3 weeks ago. I know the whole line, all of them. And here comes Kenny Pickett coming in here with these gloves on from Pittsburgh.
Tiny hands.
From Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And looking around like, yeah, man, but they drafted. Hey, they got me first. Cass is like, that don't count.
I gotta see it.
You gotta see it.
I gotta go to OTAs, man, and I gotta see it.
I gotta see it a lot.
It'll just jump off the page.
Are you guys excited? Are you excited
about
the Browns? Excited for football.
Football. Are you excited to see? This is the first time we got a chance to see new people in a lot of years.
Some new guys. Yeah. And last thing, Mike, before we move on to Deshaun Watson.
They keep him 5.
Obviously, the number one priority for fans is to win. Fans want to win. They want to watch wins. They want to win a Super Bowl. But after that, especially for Browns fans that have suffered through so much crap football since Bernie Kosar for 30 years, right? Especially on the offensive side, there have been in the last 30 years so few seasons where the Browns have had an offense that looked like a real NFL offense. And so when Derek Anderson has that great year, fans get excited because they look like a real NFL offense. For a moment with Brian Hoyer, they looked like a real NFL offense. Certainly there were times with Baker where they looked like a real NFL offense. Since Baker, the only time they've looked like a real NFL offense was with Joe Flacco. And if fans can't get wins, they at least want the offense to be fun.
That's it.
And look like, man, we can sling the ball around and score some points.
Jacoby Brissett was fine. He beat Tom Brady.
No, it wasn't fun, though. Flacco was fun.
I watched it. Him beating Tom Brady right here at home. That wasn't fun.
Nah.
David Njoku back in the end zone.
It was boring.
It wasn't
one hand.
It wasn't Flaccavelli with all the lights on. At the end against the Jets with the lighters up.
That's right.
It wasn't that. What are you talking about?
Put your light
up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Flacco didn't come back last year because of some reported beef. I don't know. That's not the right word.
I don't think the team felt like it would put too much pressure on Watson.
Exactly.
It would have.
We're going to go from a group of 4 to the one guy looking in and